Come, let us prepare. Make some good profits today. Now market left us excellent clues right there. And just imagine how many people would have been caught shorting this without the understanding of this 5-day moving average, or even understanding about the liquidity at the blue rhythm right there. Very important information right here. You have to know that, because if you remembered in yesterday's video, I told you that you have to be very careful of that 5-day moving average. It can continue trending up together with the upper Bollinger right there. So there's just absolutely no reason you try to short this before the 5-day moving average and you see it for yourself today. Will this dump? Absolutely, there will always be a reason to do that, but you can afford to wait, isn't it? So just imagine, with all the news, if you're trading the news, you'll get into trouble. I talked about this in yesterday's video. Watch that later after this one, because I will be talking something very important here you need to know. But watch it later. It will make more sense to you, especially if you're watching this video fresh. Or do refresh yourself by watching yesterday's video. You can chain up your thought process together, so it makes more sense to you. Now, it started off 1043. Once we identified, now this is 1043 right there. I talked about some microstructure with the teal and pink. So 1043 is about here. This was 10:43 a.m. and this was when we identified the pink and the teal with them right there. So I told you to be watching out. There is this microstructure here. Yeah, you saw that inverse head and shoulder pattern that's forming there. The only problem here was that we were still, very, very tightly trapped in this orange rhythm. So this was also what I mentioned. We were grinding up in that narrow orange channel, right? So this was at 10:43. So your risk to rewards may be in some sort of restriction. So you had to wait for a larger structure. So this was when I told you at 11:07 here. This was 11:07. Take a look at the timestamp here. 11:07, right? That 11:07 was about here. So you could just wait for the teal with them to show, the pink with them to show here, together with the teal. You see that happening, isn't it? Penny perfect, especially the pink penny perfect right there, building the liquidity on the breakup right there. There is absolutely no reason to short this once you are able to identify the magenta. Right, so I told you, do not short this until we retest the magenta. Magenta will always still be buying this up until we retest magenta. There's just absolutely no reason to short this, especially when 5-day is also still trending up. So you do have two very important support levels here. You can afford to wait if this wants to dump. And this is also what I talked about, very controlled selling. Very key concept here. You have to understand that. So once again, watch yesterday's video below. Have a better understanding how to be preparing the macro structure right here. Now, remember the pink algorithm here? It's the exact same formula. Once you're able to identify the pink, can you see it for yourself? How the pink was just building liquidity on the way up there, right there. Absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Even all the way till the end. And you see orange just buying up in that all the way till the end of day right there. So plenty of good trades to take today, as long as you're able to identify the pink rhythm, and no reason to short because you're able to identify the magenta rhythm right there. So that's on a day trading basis. On the macro structure right here, it's with the understanding that the 5-day can still be buying up the liquidity and chasing up together with the very beautiful upper Bollinger right there, as you can see for yourself. Nothing new here, isn't it? So please remember, watch yesterday's video. It will help you have a deeper understanding of what's going on here. So where do we go from here? Now, we do have a breakout from that green, right? You remember I told you if the market was kind to us, we would get a 5-day, close to 5-day retest. We didn't get the close 5-day retest, but this is still a very respectable inverse head that's formed on the breakout of this green algorithm here. So you see that happening. We did breakout in green. So tomorrow, the first thing you have to be worried about is buying continuation structure. Now, the buying continuation structure can get quite tricky if we start tapering within the orange. So best case scenario is we continue in that green, which may not be an easy way to take day trades as well. Most likely we will be tapering in that orange. So if that happens, you do not overtrade because this is as good as a grind up. Sometimes there isn't very clear ways to take structure, but it is what it is. Focus on the possible buying continuation structure in that orange and green algorithm right there. Now remember what I tell you. If this wants to dump, you absolutely will not miss it in the blue algorithm. There's beautiful liquidity here if this wants to dump, right? So if this wants to dump, wait for tapering. It will taper, and thereafter grab the liquidity on the break of that orange, as well as building liquidity in that blue algorithm here. This zone here, right? The market has to grab the liquidity here before it starts heading down. Now, most likely, your 5-day will start retesting this before it wants to build greater liquidity on the way down. If it doesn't, well, which is absolutely fine, you can always wait for cups to close where this main blue liquidity is. So there are two blue liquidity here you have to be worried about, right? This one at that 675 yellow together with your 5-day moving average that will be trending to this general area here with the blue algorithm if this wants to dump. So you just have to be more careful, wait, be patient. There are key levels that you can afford to wait if this wants to head down here. Now, granted, we did have, we'll take a look at the futures market, which is over here, right? We did have a big gap down anyway. This was about a 10-point equivalent on SPY, probably less, maybe 8-point equivalent on SPY. So this is a 8-point gap down right at the open. And this was also because I told you, let's return to the 30-minute chart here. I told you about the dual algorithm here as well. So do watch yesterday's video. So you see this is the early gap down. And then we started re-grabbing the liquidity on the way up here with the green algorithm. I will make more sense to you if you watch yesterday's video. So once again, this is probably my third reminder here. If you have not watched that, please do, because a big part of that video is to remind you not to be too concerned with the news and trade the news or, form a certain bias that prevents you from trading technically with structure and truly finding profits in the charts. As you can see today, if you trade with structure, you can never go wrong. And even if you go wrong, you know exactly why, and you can always work on that and get better because you know what you need to fix on to get better, comparably to just guessing or just losing control and depending your trades on someone else saying something. Don't be that kind of trader. You need to have control, right? Don't be depending on people or luck or circumstance out there just to be feeding your family. And if I'm telling you something like that in a different perspective, does that sound pathetic to you? That you have to depend on someone saying something in order for you to make money and feed your family? That isn't someone who's in control. So I want you to learn to be in control, especially on the trading floor. Right? Find profits in the charts in your own terms and with your abilities and skill. You're not dependent on another person now. Tweeting something, isn't it? So please be safe on the trading floor. Do not get riled up or rattled by the news. It's very easy to do that. There are very strong structural, very technical skills that you can pick up and learn, and for once, do this at your own terms and no longer depending on the market. So, well, obviously, the market can be kind to us and makes it a lot easier. But when it makes it easier, it doesn't mean that you get luckier. It just means that your skills can be properly rewarded with more amplification. So have the discernment to know whether it is skill or luck. And work on the skill, because you can work on the skill. All right. So once again, nothing to worry about here. Watch yesterday's video, understand the macro structure. I spent a lot of time talking about that. So you don't have to worry. I talked about the gap as well, because everyone was talking about the gap, especially once we started gapping down pre-market as well. So have a better understanding of how to be preparing for the day ahead, the thought process behind it. And yes, watch it for yourself as the day unfolds when I do a live analysis. All right, do a parallel to that. And so you can understand how to be preparing mentally, emotionally, and even on a trading level, technically, to be finding profits in the charts. So thank you very much for watching. It's just Monday, start of the week, right? Take it easy, guys. We got this. It's a long week to go. Hang in there. See you closer to opening bell.